Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, and welcome back to another episode of How to Build. This is a series where I show you how to build all of my created For Honor characters and a few others besides. And today, after many requests, I'm going to teach you guys how to build Hiroyama Asuma, the Red Guardian Oni. I just released his lore not too long ago, his legend video, and many of you seem to like it. I'm sorry I wasn't there for the premiere. I was doing other stuff at the time, but many of you have said that you really like his design and want to know how to make it yourself. So I decided, all right, let's not waste any time then. Let's go ahead and talk about what you need to do to build him. Armor, weapon, all of it. So let's get right into it. So to start off with the armor, you need the Eichi helm. This is important. You need the Eichi helm, the Genkaku chest, and the Genkaku arms. Those are the three magical pieces of armor you need. Eichi helm, Genkaku chest, and Genkaku arms. You want these because of the solid metal look it will give you and the polished look it's going to give. You can see kind of how it reflects the light very nicely. But you also want it because it's one of the few armors that you can make a complete solid color based on material. Many of the others, you're not going to get that. So, like, for example, this one, the Daikijin, it's not going to do that for you. No matter what material you have, it's going to be this black color, which looks cool, but we want this Genkaku arm, which means it's going to change color. All right, so one more time. Eichi helm, Genkaku chest, Genkaku arms. All right, let's move forward. For the weapon, the Demonic Akaoni head, Demonic Akaoni handle, and Demonic Akaoni pommel. Now, I am aware that this isn't the most handsome looking Kanabo, and a large reason for that is because, well, I like this one because it's literally Akaoni, and that's what our boy Asuma is. He is an Akaoni, a red demon. So I felt like this was just a little too obvious. But if you don't have this weapon set, there are other alternatives. One alternative that I highly recommend is the Ariake set, because the Ariake set may be the default, but it honestly looks just fantastic as a Kanabo. Sometimes the most simple looks really are the best, and I feel like if you go with the Ariake set, it looks just fine. Another set that you could go with, pull it up for you, is the Onigoko head. That's another good one you could go with if you really wanted to. And the last one that I would recommend, if I can find it, the Ryusaku head, because honestly, it's just a great design for a club. You could also maybe go with Okuma's Fury, but I'm naming too many at this point. Really, the one that would fit well with who he is as the Red Oni would be the Akaoni, Demonic Akaoni head and set overall. So that's what I would go with if I were you. So again, Eichi helm, Genkaku chest, Genkaku arms, Demonic Akaoni head, Demonic Akaoni handle, Demonic Akaoni pommel. All right, now you know how to make our boy Asuma and his armor set. So let's talk about the other details. For traits, default, obviously. Skin color, I go with the second set. I want him to look a little burnt. You could go with the second or third set to get this effect, but I thought that the second was fine. I wanted him to look a little scorched, like he'd had to walk through the fires of his home to see what had become of it. So I wanted that. I wanted a little bit more of a darker complexion because of that, so I went with the second, but you could go with the third and still get away with it. For the chest, nothing, absolutely nothing. Don't put anything on that chest. Let it be that polished, pretty look. I really want that, okay? For your ornament, you can do the Horned Demon. This will apply horns to his head, which I think look absolutely phenomenal. Now, you don't have to go it. You could just go without, and it'll still look pretty intimidating, especially when we get to the effects we're going to use. But the horned ornament is probably your best bet if you wanted to use an ornament, okay? Okay. For your right shoulder, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't need anything for this. Again, keep that polished look. For the left shoulder, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Again, keep that polished look. Pretty easy, right? For your material, you want cinnabar. Obviously, you want cinnabar. Now, yes, you could use red. You could use ruby. You could use any of these other red colors, but for me, I like cinnabar because of that crimson fiery look and because it goes best in terms of a polished look. Because if you compare it to ruby, notice how it looks more like a pasted look, like it looks painted on. Whereas this looks like the actual material is crimson. I think that looks a lot better. All right. For the back, you want no paint pattern, but the symbol, you want the Primal Anger 4 symbol, which can only be gotten from Reigning Inferno mask outfit. So you do need to get a mask outfit. The Reigning Inferno mask outfit. It should still be available. Get that, put Primal Anger 4 on his back, no embossing. Okay? For the standard, you want the Scorched Hill paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 29, level 10. And you want the embossing Oni 2, which you get at Reputation 13, level 20. Now, if you have not gotten your Shugoki up to that level yet, do not fret. I'll be real honest with you. You don't need anything on that. You do need a paint pattern, but it needs to be a paint pattern that has a solid color, because this is the sash without the paint pattern. This is it with the paint pattern. So you want something, but you want to have a more solid looking color. You can easily get any of these solid looking colors just by going to filter and choosing reputation. By doing that, you'll get a solid looking color out of any of them. So you should be good as long as you go with just the reputation sets. Okay? Now, how do you get this solid color? That comes from the color itself. You use Bloodbath, which you get at level 9. I'm not even kidding. You get this color scheme at level 9. You don't have to go all the way to the top to get the good stuff. And I do think that the solid crimson looks fantastic on our boy. Okay? So make sure you get Bloodbath. All right? All right, let's move on to the abilities. For abilities, I gave him Throw Further because he's going to be a demon with massive, unquestionable strength, so I figured he could throw his enemies a lot further. Juggernaut, the dude's just not going to be stopped. I mean, Asuma is just going to plow through his enemies. He's not going to even slow down. Punch Through, your block damage is increased. I feel like that was a good choice for him because he's just going to power through his opponents. But another good one you could use is Hard to Kill, which increases your damage as your health gets lower. Like the more you get damaged, the more you damage others. I thought either that or Punch Through would work. And then I use Staggering Blow as opposed to these others because I thought that with Staggering Blow, you're just knocking over people everywhere you walk. You are just a force of nature to be feared, right? So I thought that those would be the best ones. For executions, I use Break in Half, Smashing Success, the Mountain, because he uses this in his lore, and Nebari Arakakuru. Beautiful, right? All of these give off the sort of demonic, powerful, destructive force, which is what I wanted to get out of him. So I thought that all of these would work well. For emotes, I use Victory, Impaired Flexing Handshake. Because he's still a bro. You know, he's still good to his Meyer buddies. You know, he's still protective of his people. So I figured that it'd be a little bit cool with his guys. You know, not a big deal. Besides, if I'm being real honest, if you go to his unique ones, none of them really look like what you'd expect from a demon. They're just kind of goofy ones. All of them just look kind of goofy. Hammer Time looks kind of goofy. Pumped is kind of goofy. Heck Yes is kind of goofy. They're all just kind of goofy. So none were really capturing that demonic force that I really wanted. So I just went with this. For combat, I went with My House and Sumo. I thought those looked very good. My House shows his protective nature. Sumo gives off his demonic fury nature, which I thought looked really good. For signatures, I use Kachi no Kori. However, you don't have to use that. You can also use with a head roll. Or hard hitting. Any of those work too. And finally, effects. Pretty simple. You want the Kagatsuchi's Resplendence, which you get from the Reigning Inferno mask outfit. Now, I want you to take a close look at that mask when it shows up and notice the ornament that I used. Do you see how the horns stick out in just the perfect spot? that adds to the overall horn effect of the mask outfit. That's why I said that ornament would work well, because when that mask outfit shows up, it just looks even better. But I wanted that demonic look, because here's the thing: whether you think he's possessed by an Oni, or whether you think he's being strengthened by an Oni, or whether you think it's just him and people assume he's an Oni, the point is when people see him, they think they see a demon. And I thought, well, let's give him a demon. You also give it to him for his executions. Make sure you give it to him for his executions. Now, you don't need to give it to him for his free roam effects, because like I said, none of them are really that cool. They're just kind of goofy. But for combat, yeah, you can give it to him for the combat executions. Absolutely. Why not take advantage of that for real? And that is how you build Asuma Hiroyama, the Red Guardian Demon. What do you guys think? Do you like the look? Did you like the legend? Let me know down in the comment section below. Are you going to make Asuma for yourself? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care.